I never imagined I'd be the one to walk away from my own dinner table. For years, that table had been the heart of our home, the silent witness to birthdays, holidays, lazy Sunday meals over pasta and cheap wine. But that night, something in me quietly cracked, like a glass slipping from your hand before you even realize it's gone. My name's Daniel. I've been married to Claire for 7 years. We weren't perfect. No couple is. But I thought we were steady. Predictable in the best kind of way. The kind of marriage where arguments fade by morning and love feels like safety, not chaos. What I didn't see was how steady had slowly turned into distant. It began a few months back when Claire started her new job. She was excited, glowing with energy, and I was genuinely happy for her. Every night she'd come home full of stories about her team, her projects, her boss, especially her boss, Evan. That name started echoing through our home like background noise I couldn't shut off. Evan said this. Evan thinks that. Evan's so funny. At first, I brushed it off. I wanted to be the supportive husband, the one who doesn't get jealous. But every time she said his name, there was a light in her eyes that used to be there for me. A couple of weeks before that night, Claire began coming home later and later. When I asked, she'd just say, late meetings. No warmth, no explanation, just words tossed over her shoulder while her eyes stayed glued to her phone. I knew something was off. I just didn't know how far it had gone. Then came that Friday. She told me we'd been invited to dinner with some of her colleagues, including Evan. I didn't want to go, but saying no would have sparked a fight. So I agreed. It'll be fun, she said. I wish she'd been right. The restaurant was one of those trendy downtown spots. Low lighting, laughter everywhere, the smell of steak and wine thick in the air. Her co-workers were already gathered, joking like old friends. Evan sat at the head of the table, tall, confident, wearing that practiced smile people like him use to hide arrogance behind charm. Daniel, the man of the hour, he said, standing to shake my hand. His grip was firm, too firm, like he was testing me. Good to meet you, Evan, I replied with a polite smile. Claire slid into the chair next to him. Not next to me. That was the first red flag. Dinner started out easy enough. Light talk, work stories, shared jokes. But as the drinks flowed, the tone changed. Claire laughed louder than I'd heard her laugh in months. She leaned toward Evan when he spoke, her hand brushing his arm once, twice, too many times. Maybe she didn't notice me watching. Or maybe she did and didn't care. Then came the moment that seared itself into my memory. Evan made a joke about how office romances are bound to happen when you spend that much time together. Everyone laughed. Claire looked at me with a smirk and said, "Don't worry, honey. If I ever cheat, it'll be with someone worth it." The table erupted in laughter. My heart didn't. It just went still. I sat there, blood rushing to my face, staring at the woman who once cried for hours when she forgot my birthday because she thought it meant she didn't love me enough. Now she was making jokes about cheating with her boss in front of strangers. I could have yelled. I could have flipped the table. But I didn't. I just looked at her, then at Evan, then down at my untouched glass of wine. Slowly, I folded my napkin, set it neatly on the table, and said, "Excuse me." She blinked, half drunk, half stunned. "Daniel, where are you going?" "Home." I said evenly, "Enjoy your dinner." And I walked out. Not fast, not slow, just steady. Each step felt like another piece of my marriage slipping off my shoulders. Outside, the night air was sharp. My hands shook, not from anger, but from realization. The kind that doesn't roar. The kind that just sinks heavy and quiet. I sat in my car for a long time, staring through the windshield at the glow of the restaurant. Inside, I could still see shadows moving, people laughing. Life going on without me. When I finally got home, I didn't break anything. Didn't shout. I just sat on the couch and thought about the man I'd become. The one who mistook silence for strength. Who called distance independence. Who convinced himself that patience meant love. Around midnight, Claire came in. Her heels clicked across the floor, sharp, hesitant, guilty. "You just left," she said softly, like I was the one who'd crossed a line. I looked at her. You humiliated me in front of everyone, I said quietly. You turned our marriage into a punchline. It was a joke, she snapped, her voice trembling. You're overreacting. And that's when I realized we weren't even fighting about the same thing. I was hurt. She was defending her ego. There was no bridge between those two worlds anymore. I stood up, walked to the bedroom, and started packing a bag. She followed me, tears welling up. Daniel, please don't do this. I zipped the suitcase, slow and calm. I'm not angry, Claire, I said. I'm just done pretending this is love. She didn't say another word. Maybe she finally understood. Or maybe she still thought I'd cool off like always. But I didn't. I walked out the door with the same quiet calm I had leaving that restaurant. The kind that frightens people more than fury ever could. That night, I stayed at a cheap motel off the highway. The sheets smelled of bleach and strangers, but I slept better than I had in months. The next morning, my phone buzzed. Missed calls, messages, apologies. I didn't reply. I just scrolled through old photos, vacations, anniversaries, lazy mornings. They all looked fake now, like stage scenes in a play that had already ended. Because sometimes, cheating doesn't start with touching. It starts with laughter meant for someone else. With glances, with inside jokes that don't include you. That night at dinner, Claire didn't just cross a line. She erased it. And once she did, there was no going back.